Okay, we're going to try this out. Let's begin with the first handful of lines here of Daedalus and Icarus from line 183 to 192. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just to try and make this simpler, I'm just going to break this into its sentences so we can navigate it just a little bit more easily. Looks like we've got a break here at Pelago. Okay, there's another break after Minos. There's a break at Nowat. And we'll let that go for now. The rest is kind of a series of clauses. All right, let's begin with Daedalus to Clausus erat Pelago. The main structure of this sentence is our subject, Daedalus. The main verb is Clausus erat, and the predicate is Pelago. All right, Daedalus is nominative. Clausus erat is a pluperfect passive. Daedalus had been enclosed, Pelago, by the sea, ablative. There's also an adverb going with that, in terrea. Meanwhile, Daedalus had been enclosed by the sea. Now, there are also two subordinate ideas describing Daedalus that are not quite full clauses, but behave the same as full clauses. They're little participle phrases, okay? And the que is helping me separate the two of them. Each of them has a nominative element. Let's start with Perosus. What kind of a Daedalus is it that had been enclosed by the sea? Well, one who is having hated two things. Kraten, that's accusative, direct object, and his long exile, longum, and down here, exilium. The second participle phrase, tactus, describes Daedalus as having been touched, ablative amore, by a love, or perhaps with a love, with a love, and two genitives, of his native land. Altogether, meanwhile, Daedalus, having hated Crete and his long exile, and having been touched by a love of his native land, finally we get to the main verb down here, had been enclosed by the sea. All right, going on. The next sentence is one long quote, all starting with the word inquit here. He said, all right, let's break this into its clauses. I will use purple to just kind of break up the clauses. Couple things. First of all, everything up to obstruat. We've got a second clause here with patet, a third clause here with ibimus, a fourth clause with possedeat. Come on. Why will you not work? There we go. And a fifth clause with possedet. Let's take them one at a time. First of all, remember that licet here is being used in conjunction with the present subjunctive verb obstruat. Licet, it may be that, obstruat, he blocks, come back up to your direct object, teras, he blocks the lands, and et, he blocks the undas, the waves, i.e. the sea. All right? We don't know who the he is yet because the subject, Minos, is actually postponed all the way to the end here. We'll find out that that's who Daedalus is referring to. All right, so the first clause. It may be that he blocks the lands and the waves. It's followed up by a second idea. I'll underline that in yellow. But, the chylum, which is nominative here, patet, lies open. The last word in there, kerte, is an adverb, certainly or surely. But certainly the sky lies open. Ibimus is future. We will go ilak, by that route. The concluding thought of Daedalus's quote here goes back to the subject Minos. Omnia possedeat, there's subjunctive, he may possess everything, probably being used again in conjunction with licet up here. It may be that he possesses everything. He does not possess the air. Ira is actually an accusative plural, object of possesdet. We can translate that singularly, though. He does not possess the air. All right, moving into the next sentence. Dixit, a very short clause. He spoke. Okay, moving into the next clause. And demitted. He sends the accusative direct object animum, his mind. Well, where does he send his mind? In artes ignotas. All accusative with the prepositional phrase in. Into unknown arts. So altogether, he spoke, or he said, and he sends his mind into unknown arts. Final clause in that sentence. And he renews nature, meaning that he is trying to do something that's beyond the natural order, right? Create wings for people. All right, last bit. Nam, we know that this means for, but it's the kind of for that is an explanatory sentence, right? Here, this is what we mean by him renewing nature. For ponit, go back to red. For he places something in the accusative. Yes, penas. He places feathers in ordine, in a row, having been started. So koeptos is a participle describing penas, having been started a minima, from the smallest. Remember, this is a description of how he actually arranges the feathers in this wing suit he's creating. The next bit is an ablative absolute. I'm going to underline all of that in green. This gives us a little bit more of the background information of how he's going about this. Now, this is a present active participle with the shorter ablative following ablative the long, accusative. That's accusative because it's the object of our present participle sequenti, with the shorter following the long. Immediately following this is a result clause. The short follow the long in such a way that, or so that, putes, present subjunctive, you would think it grew. It's kind of a little short version of an indirect statement here. It meaning, I guess, the arrangement of feathers or the wing itself, such that you would think it grew in a slope. Clivo, ablative there. The final piece in lines 191 to 192 compares the way that these feathers and wings look to a pan flute. Sic quondam, two adverbs, thus once did the nominative rustica fistula, the rustic pipe, that means the pan flute. Let's go to the verb, surget, rise, little by little, that's an adverb, palatium. And then there's a noun-adjective pair in the ablative here. You might say on uneven reeds. On uneven reeds. So disparibus goes with awenis. Different declensions, same gender number in case. Ablative, plural. All right. Thus, once the rustic pipe, fistula, surget rises little by little on uneven reeds.